Hello, chat.
Something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough now. What am I supposed to do? Sit around and wait for you? Well, I can't do that. There's no turning back. I need time to move on. I need love to feel strong. 'Cause I've had time
Marlon Brando, Jimmy Dean, on the cover of a magazine. Grace Kelly, Harlow Jean, picture of a beauty queen. Jean Kelly, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, dance on air.
Let's go.
They had grace, Rita Hayworth gave good face. Lauren Catherine Manitou, Betty Davis, we love you. Ladies with an attitude, fellas that were in the mood. Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it. You've got to let your body move to the music. You've got to just let your body go with the flow. You've got to Vogue.
Hello, darlings. How we doing? A rare Monday evening stream. It might have to do with the fact that we did not record the podcast. Caroline, you looked incredible yesterday. OMG Slate, thank you. Gracias. Okay, what is happening here? My camera was like this. Gary, thank you for the 33 months. Boone, thank you for the 22 months. Ghost, thank you for the 29 months. Dragon Army, thank you for the 5 gifted subs yesterday. What was yesterday? Yesterday was Pride. And then I went to a podcast. Wait, was I live? No. I was on Christian's channel. Is that a new painting? It's not. It's not a new painting. Will's mom had that commissioned.
Immaculate vibes tonight.
So that is a picture I had taken, put on my Instagram, and then she commissioned an artist who does this style and did one of Will and then also did one on me, and then we finally got it framed. So I've had it for a while, I just hadn't had it framed, but I have like so many random art things in the room. I like that every day on the stream, I'm like, oh, it's a different background. We've got something new up.
Cornheart 30 months.
You have to tune in. You have to tune in every stream to see what's going to be new. Carlos, thank you for the 30 months. June, thank you for the 29 months. Am I going to build a set? Yes. I'm going to have another consultation this week over the stream room. 1 second. Ah! All right. Okay. How's everyone doing? What's going on? How are we? Easy. Camosis, thank you for the 17 months. A little vocal warm-up time. The camera doesn't know which face. Let me move this up a little bit. Am I getting mogged by my own? There's 3 of me. Am I getting mogged by my own photos? I was at WeHo Pride yesterday and saw you, Christian Peach. I didn't get a chance to say hi. Sadness. But happy Pride to you too. Am I gonna go back to Pride? Possibly. I gotta look at this. I gotta look at the schedule stuff that's going on because I messaged Vivian Wilson this morning. I was like, oh my god. I saw that you ran into my friends yesterday, and it reminded me we still need to plan a collab together. So maybe we could do something that's Pride related. But I gotta look at the stream, or I gotta look up the schedule. Hydrocide, thank you for using your Prime sub. Are you aware of Will's plan to catch a jumping spider? I am aware, and I have said no. I don't understand how he went from being an arachnophobe to wanting a jumping spider and having it in the house. I don't get it. I really enjoyed the stream yesterday. Those drinks were so strong I wouldn't have believed it if I didn't watch them poured. Those drinks were pure liquor. It was basically just ice and liquor. The jumping spiders are the only cute spiders. Okay, true. But also, let me see one of these guys. Let me see, because this might end up becoming my roommate. No, no, no. No. I'm sorry, but no.
With fangs that bite, venom that paralyzes.
Okay, but actually, what is this sparkle? Okay, wait, is she a queen?
Venom that paralyzes.
Is that glitter?
And liquefies.
Wait a sec. Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. She's kind of cunty.
This regal jumping spider rules her tiny garden domain.
Okay, but still no.
She squeezes out every last drop, leaving nothing but a crumpled husk behind.
Being gaslit by the spider
she
lobby.
Had to teach herself how to be this fearsome, starting when she was smaller than a sesame seed. Every jumping spider must learn to stalk and pounce.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm sorry. I just have a pretty strict no. I have a pretty strict no spider policy.
Hi, my name's Lucas. I have too many eyeballs.
Okay, except that's not what it's like, all right? That's... It's not Lucas. You know what I mean? This is not what's going to be my house. You're like, hi, I'm Lucas, and I'm just a little baby spider. I'm just a little tiny baby.
I look around with all of the
Oh.
eyeballs.
What is this, like Marcel the Shell to sell me on having one of these?
Oh, there it is. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
Hi, my name's Lucas.
Like, here's the thing. Marcel the Shell, cute as shit. Do I want... Wait, actually, what is he, a snail? Wait, Marcel's a snail, right? Yeah, wait. No, he's a shell. Wait, he's just a shell. He's just a shell with shoes. Uh, what? He's just a shell. Okay, but still, I don't want shells either, you know? Man, no. Will's doing jumping spider propaganda on y'all. Or y'all are doing jumping spider propaganda on Will. No, I'm sorry, I can't. This is a nightmare. Why is there soft music? Why is this music like something out of a like a Little Miss Sunshine like film? No, y'all.
Are you sure this water's sanitary? It looks questionable
To me,
It's fine, honey.
Ugh. But what about bacteria?
Tantor, can't you see Mummy's talking?
okay. On Furion, he said he got a terrarium. Will, did you order a terrarium? Did you order a terrarium? Are you really planning on getting jumping spiders? No! No, I'm not having faith. No. No! No. I got bit on the fucking ass. I'm not getting rid of my arachnophobia. Some of us have PTSD from ass spider bites. Yeah, both cheeks. Both cheeks, y'all. W Snitch. You know what's funny is like sometimes you guys will say things and I go, how do you know that? Because there are things that Will mention to me and I know I haven't talked about on stream yet. I'm like, how do you know that? Because he was telling me last night. Because Wake was sitting there and he goes, oh, a spider. And it started crawling up. I was like, get it out, goodbye, get it out. And I realized that this all comes from Fear Ann. So you guys know these things. You guys know these things because he says it on the podcast. I don't know if it's like he says it on the podcast as a way to make it come true. Look at it this way. You probably already have a few spiders in your apartment currently. At least these would be in a cage. Yeah, but what happens when they're not in the cage anymore? I don't know. I have PTSD. I'm not a spider person. The Natural History Museum in LA has a spider pavilion. The museum's fantastic, but I ain't going in the spider pavilion. Same. But you can. Yeah, go for it. Knock yourself out. Y'all, if that's something that sounds good to you, go do it. An Etsy terrarium. That shit is gonna have holes. Absolutely. Yes. Dr. Richie, thank you for the 3 months. Creepier Leak, thank you for the 6 months. Creepier Leak, thank you for the 19 months. Mai Tai, thank you for the 6 months. Manong Hassan, thank you for the 23. You know what? Okay, fine. If he keeps it in his stream room, I did say that his stream room is his to do what he wishes. Is the camera still struggling to autofocus? I might have to. Well, here's the thing. I'm covering up my laundry. So, this kind of serves a purpose. I haven't had time to do it yet. What if I move that away? But then it's gonna wanna. I need a painting to hide my laundry too. Yeah, it comes in handy. Okay, if it's still struggling to focus, I'll have to move some things around. I would still be afraid that they would hitch a ride on his clothes inside the house. Yes. Me too. Yes. It's your hat brim cover. Oh, here, let me lift that up. My Geek Squad hat. Thank you for your continuous entertainment, helping me learn more every day. Appreciate you helping me as ever through painful nights with severe arthritis. Oh, I'm so sorry. Keep making this space a better, safe, heartwarming one to be a part of. Spotting, thank you for the 21 months. My old roommate she was my previous roommate, but she still has rheumatoid arthritis. And I know how excruciating that can be just from seeing her go through that. B. Gomez, thank you for the 3 months. All right, y'all. So tonight we have 2 hours to talk about things, and mostly I want to talk about Pride, and unfortunately the horrifying story, the news that happened today, involving the murder of Jonathan Joss, who played John Redcorn on King of the Hill. If you ever watched that show, he voiced Redcorn for 10 seasons, and they actually are rebooting King of the Hill, and he was just at ATX TV Festival with his castmates, and they've been promoting the show. So he was also in Parks and Rec. Yeah, but it's awful. It's horrible. But unfortunately, I think it's important to cover the story because not only was it on the first day of Pride, but it's also a reminder that Pride is not just a party, right? And when idiots say, "Why do you need a month of Pride?" Where's my straight pride? It's like, oh, I'm sorry, people murdering you for being straight. Oh, I'm sorry. Does homophobia and transphobia no longer exist in this country? That's like, I had no idea. So it is, it's a really awful way to kick off Pride Month, but I think it also is a reminder of like why Pride Month exists and why, Pride is not just a celebration of unique, beautiful individual identities, but also a reminder that the fight for rights, for progress in this country still continues, because bigotry is violence. Bigotry doesn't just doesn't just potentially lead to violence. It is in and of itself violence. So that's the main thing that we're gonna look at today. And then at 8:00, Will and I are doing a sponsored stream together. We're gonna be playing Popucom. I like that I can get Will to game with me if we're doing a sponsor together. So we are gonna play Popucom tonight at 8:00. And actually, I need to take a photo. Everyone say hi. The peace sign. Look, it's just easy, okay? It's just, I am Sam. I am Sandwich. I saw you were in Kayla Says new video, cool collab. I would love to watch that if we have time. If not, I'll watch it some other time this week. But yeah, I did that. You know what? This was a full weekend. Before we jump into things, we can recap. So this weekend, from Saturday, on Saturday, I went to Monsterpalooza with Datoon, Jordan, and Sandwich, aka Sam. And it was a blast. And next year we've decided we're going to go all out. We're going to do fits, maybe prosthetics. I don't know, but we want to go all out and then show up next year and make it even more of a thing. But we went, so this is the first time that I'd gone. Man, there was a lot happening this weekend. There was DreamCon. There was Monsterpalooza. There was another thing I saw that people were at. It was a busy weekend. You, Datune, and Sam are such a fun crew. It was a great stream. You know, I love our little trio. I do. I love our excuse me. I love our little trio, and doing collabs like that reminds me that collabs can be fun. When I collab with people that I like, that I'm friends with, and I go do things like go to a horror monster convention, which is up my alley. I love that shit. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Collabs are fun to watch too. Indeed. So I love the deep fried filter you had. I wonder if that's just his settings from when he does his paranormal streams. People tune in to see that kind of connection. Yeah, I just think it's like this really fun, cool thing that's great to stream. And when you have people who love it, you know, it's like you're not having to force having fun because it's something that we all three genuinely loved. I'm gonna make Will go next time. Yeah, he was sad he didn't go. It would be slay if you guys did a costume and could pull this kind
Amanda,
of interview.
sir, you'd be incited for bringing your child to work. I'm with Imperial Human Resources. I think you know why you're getting these citations.
We're going to the gym.
Not on work hours, you're not. For indecency, for impersonating Lord Vader.
Yeah.
You burned the coffee.
You burned the
I gotta thank
coffee.
you. What's this? To Dolores, the best HR employee.
Now
Thank
this
you
is
with
some RP.
all my heart. Too much bling. Yes.
I need helpers, not this ticket.
Yeah, well, you got to fill out the paperwork and then we can talk. Do you want to come work for the Empire? Okay, great. Would you like to come work for the Empire?
Oh my gosh, yes I would. I really support the job you guys are doing.
Is that Mrs. Doubtfire?
Excellent. Okay.
Down with the rebel scum,
Yes,
right? Oh, that's great.
So no, you're not joining the Empire.
That's great.
She likes it.
All right, whatever. For hanging fuzzy dice from the cockpit, obstructing your field of vision.
Oh, man.
For getting fur in the shower drain. For exaggerating your marksmanship ability on your resume. Alex, happy to have you join the Empire. You're going to be an Inquisitor, which means you have to report to Vader. So good luck with that.
Lord Vader.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh, jeez.
Amanda, sir, you're being...
You gotta report to Veda. Sorry, I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. I need to know what the reveal was supposed to be.
My favorite thing is like, oh my god, I love Freddy, and then they find out he was a...
Wait, did this really happen? This is so scary.
Okay, uh-oh. Alright, my chat's gonna go feral.
Ain't no way.
My favorite thing is like, oh my god, I love Freddy, and then they find out he was a...
No, look at the scary. Look at how scary it is.
Okay, uh-oh. Alright, my chat's gonna go feral.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, well, the reveal, for those of you who don't know, that Freddy he was not just a child killer, he also turned out to be a child molester. So that was the reveal. I said that Freddy was a pedophile. But I guess Freddy didn't want me saying that shit.
My favorite thing is like, oh my god, I love Freddy, and then they find out he was a...
They find out what? Look at him in the back. He's gonna be in my nightmares. He is gonna be in my nightmares. In the original movie, Freddy murdered children. The remake, he also assaulted them. Yes, so that was a change in the character. So when they did the 2010 remake, it focused on the abuses that Freddy Krueger committed, now confirmed to have been a pedophile. I don't know why they changed that. I honestly, it's kind of one of the things in horror history that I go, why? Why did you do that? Why did we have to do that? Couldn't he have just been, there was no other backstory? Wasn't that the lore that they burned him because he was a pedo? Yeah. So he was not, I think it's important to understand that originally he was not a pedo. He just killed kids. And then they changed it. And a lot of people were like, I don't know about that. As one does, where you just kill kids, you know? That's so funny. I had no idea that the stream cut out right at that moment. Here's video of the Megans performing yesterday at Pride. I know, this was crazy. Work it, girl. Oops. Okay, by the way, I am going to cut together I'm going to cut together a video and send it to I'm going to try to send this to Universal and Blumhouse, and I'm going to cut together a video of the Megan unboxing stream that I did and then the prank that I tried to pull and be like, you guys, I'm doing this shit for free on stream. This is all organic, baby. So let's work together. Yeah, my Megan is like, bitch, why wasn't I there? Why wasn't I there? My favorite thing was when Christian was like, okay, where'd you get your MFA? Who here went to Tisch? Who's a Juilliard grad? Are they kids? No. B. Gomez, thank you for the 3 months. Did you see? Okay, wait. Let me see this. What is this? Iconic. Oh, is this from the Megan unboxing stream? Oh. You know what? I'm just going to send that. I'm going to send that to Blumhouse and Universal and be like, what's up? Bring me to the premiere. Let me talk to Allison Williams. Look what I'm doing over here.
What's going on?
It's breaking down your milestones, and so you can hold a pufferfish. And they found 7 people that can help you.
Oh, this is AI.
This is AI, and there's 7 people that can help you.
That's really dog shit. I hate AI.
Okay.
I'll see you later. I don't know. Am I gonna? Oh, what the fuck? Hell no.
Y'all, if you thought Sober Peach was based Drunk Peach, she knows no bounds.
Oh.
She knows no bounds. She is uninhibited. Common Peach W. Yes. Dude, my favorite thing about Peach, one of my favorite things, there's a lot of amazing things about her, but she's one of the few people I know who isn't constantly thinking about what people think of her. Like, as a streamer, you're always aware of being perceived, and you worry, like, am I being too loud? Am I being too this? Am I being too that? And she's just fun. She just like is not ashamed of just being herself, being fun. She is that entertaining naturally. truly, Peach is one of the closest I would say to, you know how a lot of streamers, it's like, okay, you have everybody performs on stream, right? We're live. You make content. Like there's a natural performance to it. She is so close. Like the Peach, the streamer Peach to how Peach is like pretty much the same. She's pretty much the same. She really is just like that quite naturally, you know. Obviously a lot of people turn it up when you're on when you're on stream, but she's also very much so like that in real life. A person worthy of admiration. Scuffed Maru, thank you for the 6 months. Will uploaded a vid of yesterday's Pride stream. You know what? We're getting to the good stuff. We're going to do the good stuff, the fun stuff, before we get to the not fun stuff.
What's up, Austin? Wait, where's
How's
both
the
my
shower?
mans? Yeah, you f***ed up.
Oh,
Enjoy your shower,
That's
Gay Day. Yeah, this is my homage to Circuit Gay.
Circuit Gay.
You need to wear a choker and leave swan. Your biceps need to be at least 18 inches. Right. Yeah. And I fear you. What are y'all drinking? I'm having a Corona.
So yesterday, I left Pride and I went to go see Matt Bernstein's show, which is on tour A Bit Fruity, because Matt and I are planning to do a podcast episode soon. And Kat Tenbarge, friend of the show, is also on tour with him. So I went to go support. And then they hung out with them afterwards, hung out with them and Taylor Lorenz. And I was just talking about, I went to Pride and Matt's like, I cannot believe they scheduled my show on Pride. I cannot believe it. But I said, just an FYI, my boyfriend might come stomping through here at any moment. And he's been at Pride for what? Oh no, I was talking about, well, Matt, I was getting to the story where Matt was like, oh, is your boyfriend gay at all? Because I was like, yeah, he's been at Pride for 10 hours. And I said,
The sentence, is he gay at all, is
he's
so
like,
funny
I don't mean that like you can't be.
Because you can say, yeah, he's some kind of little bit gay.
But he said, I just don't know if LA, it's a thing where people go to Pride just because it's. Is he gay at all? Aren't we all a little gay? Everyone's a little bit gay. Yes. We're all a little gay. So anyway, I said, just a heads up, Matt, my boyfriend and our friend who's staying here, they might come through here and they might be, well, not Wake, but Will. I said, Will might be quite drunk because they've been at Pride all day. So hopefully we had a very cozy, chill energy going on, talking about life and our experiences as content creators, doing political commentary, etc. So I said, just a heads up, if you walk through here, it's gonna change up the energy. But anyway, in conclusion, we are all a little gay.
Oh my God!
So much alcohol.
Will, you're so kind. He's so. Wait, can we get a fit check? Fit check. Yeah, fit check. Fit check.
Prada loafers,
Describe it.
Gucci track pants, white tank. Look at the chromies. Looking like a proper circuit gay.
Circuit gay. I just recently learned that. Circuit gay.
Okay, glasses.
Also, that is my bag that I wore at EDC that Will apparently just threw onto Wake and was like, you need to wear this. KP, thank you for the 20 months.
Let your hair down. Let your fucking hair down.
Let it blow, ho. Let the hair down. Tomato.
Wait, come on.
Wait, please.
Look at these fucking boards.
Pull up my wallet.
100 gifted, we all go shirtless.
100 gifted subs. You heard this first. We all go shirtless. Will Neff included. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that was 2 shots of vodka.
Holy fuck. Someone just gifted 100 subs. Let's go, Broadman!
Also, let's be so for real. Will was waiting for that as an excuse to take his shirt off.
If Austin doesn't show up, I'm taking him. If Sears watching, get your ass to Los Angeles.
Now that I'm watching this YouTube VOD, I'm realizing, oh my God, this was so hectic.
She wants an invite to a D&D.
Oh my God.
I get to fight because of this moment.
I play some D&D. Are you a D&D'er?
I play Magic the Gathering and I want to be initiated into D&D. Will.
Not the crunch.
I'm so jealous.
He is such a big,
Wait,
Honestly,
y'all need to drink.
me as a DM with just
Overstimulating.
and you're like, I don't know, I just have this happen.
That's top tier content.
Sorry.
Next time someone asks you if Will's a little gay, you just show them this video. True. Wait, Will ripped his shirt yesterday too? He ripped the... I thought he just took it off.
Fuck! Holy fuck. Someone just gifted 100 subs. Let's go!
You have your shirt.
Shirt off. Shirt
Wait,
off.
he ripped it up and made it into earplugs for Peach?
You have your shirt. Mike, your mic.
Holy fuck. Someone just gifted 100 subs. Let's go! Broadman!
Oh my God, this is too much. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Hello. On her Insta insane pic. I have to go look at that. Bro, what the fuck? Wait a second. Wait. Actually ripped it up? That is insane. I mean, I was talking about hearing protection, wasn't I? I said it's really important. That's why you want to have earplugs everywhere. Every time you go out, you always want to bring them. Did you see the earlier shirtless Austin moment though? I don't think I did. This is when I arrived at Pride.
What's in my head? Top of my lungs. What's going on?
Sober, right? Still.
What's going on?
Yeah, yeah.
I said hey. The Playboy choker is literally.
Excuse me.
Oh.
You're shirtless.
I know. I left it at home.
Did you get your sunscreen?
Wow. Yes. I had some random stranger spray me down in the streets.
Of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Oh.
Oh.
Are we doing Why is your fly undone? His fly is fully all the way down.
We're doing
I
fans
didn't think I
like
could afford these.
His fly is all the way down.
Wait, take the left, I'll take the right.
Okay, wait.
That's crazy.
I saw somebody on Twitter like post something of this and say they thought it was me and Will. They thought that this was me and Will on Austin.
I know Twitch and Mills is down.
Twitch was like, okay, we can't really ban him because it is the first of Pride Month. We can't. Austin is jacked. Yeah, hello. He works out every single day. He's got a Fansly contract. Of course he's jacked. That's like that's a main part of his whole thing are his muscles. Brainiac, thank you for the 18 months. KP, thank you for the 20. There's being fit and then there's gay fit. Yes.
Chat, this is my boarding school roommate. He recorded pickaxe from his phone. No! You recorded it? No! That has to be destroyed. That has to be destroyed. That is personal. That is personal.
I'm sorry. Your two names?
By the way, my name is Peach.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
I have to tell you a story. So Will's boarding school roommate, the first time that I met him, okay, it was Will's. This is a sad story, but it ends up fine because he's fine now. But it was Will's 30th birthday, and I was throwing a surprise party for him. And I was having all his best friends, roast him. And so I thought it'd be really fun to invite Andrew, who is like one of Will's oldest friends, lives in LA. And I said, I would love for you to come and celebrate and then also be a part of the roast of Will Neff. And I had like me, Hassan, Will's mom showed up as a surprise to both of us. We didn't know. And she roasted the shit out of Will. And then Andrew was one of the roasters. And so it was the first time I met Andrew, and we went to a club, and a very tragic thing happened. He ended up falling backwards. Like I said, sad story. Also insane that this was like the first time that I met him. I felt so bad because I had invited him. I had set everything up at the club. He fell backwards, which honestly, I had been telling the fucking club that it was a safety hazard. And so he ended up having to go to the emergency room. And so Will and I, remember how Will's like, my birthday is cursed. I should just never celebrate this birthday. I should change it, whatever. That was the cursed 30th birthday where we then were in the emergency room until 6 a.m. on his 30th with poor Andrew, who had he had really injured himself. He ended up being okay afterwards, and went back to his life and whatnot. But it was just one of those wild moments where I think that was finally the time that I turned to Will and I said, yeah, I think there's something fucked with your birthday. Perhaps, but that's Andrew, who Will, when they were growing up, so they were at boarding school, and Andrew kids would be so like homophobic towards Andrew. He had to deal with a bunch of shit, and he and Will, I think, got really close because they bonded over a bunch of stuff, but also because Will was like one of the few people who was not a homophobic piece of shit to Andrew. And anyway, you know, it's like a special thing when you go that far back with someone where it's like, damn, we grew up together. We went through some very trying times in our teenage development. So yeah, he's great. He's a wonderful guy.
I used to live with him when we were 17. That's true.
This is. Can I put you on camera? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I don't care. This is my better half.
This is Will's better half. What I want to find right now, deadass, is the Pop Mart stand. There's a Pop Mart stand here.
Oh, Pop Mart?
No.
Will,
I want to go to Pop Mart stand.
There's exclusive WeHo Pride.
If I don't get a gay Labubu, I'm gonna kill myself.
Okay, we don't say that. In
Roblox.
In Minecraft.
In real life.
No!
No!
Okay.
See, you know what? If it was on his channel, actually you'd still say it.
No. I want. In Roblox.
Dan, please. Dan, please.
Dan, we're so sorry.
Dan, we're sorry.
Dan, if you ban us, you're homophobic.
Dan, please.
Caroline, I need need you.
I'm being patient. I got flipped off.
I need her.
Sorry for party
Dude, I'm not kidding.
So that was someone who came up to me and said, and she was so sweet. She was like, I just have to say, she was just very kind. She's a member of the community. I was like, no, thank you so much. Like we just were talking about stuff, and she's like, the representation that you provide. I was like, yeah, I know, it's tough because sometimes I feel like I'm alone out here fighting for the girlies and the gailies and the translies and all the lees, and it can feel isolating. I think especially as a woman in this biz, and I understand why a lot of women don't talk about the things I do because their audiences are majority young men, and they don't like to hear a lot of these things. So yet my hope is, I don't know. I mean, I wish there was just more of a balance, and we'll get into this when we talk about Jonathan Joss and whatnot. But I just really believe that content creators, y'all have a responsibility to one another. So whether or not it's you who is using this language or you are allowing it by being silent, it's causing harm. It's causing harm to LGBTQ creators. It's causing harm to viewers. It's causing harm to people in real life. This is not just harassment on the internet. This is real life, the violence that is still occurring on a daily basis. And so if you have, especially, not just if, but especially if you are in a position of pretty enormous influence, you have to be using your platform in a way that is responsible. Do not be causing harm to the people who you share this space with. And just in general, as human beings, let's be good to one another. Let's not be causing harm to anybody.
There is just so many people around Caroline.
That's what I'm saying. Well, that's the thing about Mother, right? And let's talk about the contrast for a second. First and foremost.
The contrast.
The contrast.
Oh, the contrast.
We can also talk about the contrast of it all, but the contrast, they find Mother and they latch.
They latch.
Just like this. I feel like every time I join her chat, mind you, I'm saying some shit and she's talking about something really serious.
No, I'd be saying some shit too.
Yeah.
I think we're twins.
Austin is a fake fucking gay. I'm saying it.
It actually kind of makes me laugh. It's very funny to me that my friends, they're so sweet, but they'll be like, sometimes I get nervous and I'll just hold on a second before I chat in your chat because I know a lot of times you talk about serious things and I don't want to be the person coming and being like, what's up, bitches? And you're in the middle of like a very serious discussion. I said, you know what? Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it happens. I like though, it's not that it's like a running joke or anything, but kind of the shared sentiment with my streamer friends who come in here to say hi from time to time. They go, I'll usually just wait a sec because I've learned in the past that if I don't, there is a likelihood that you may be at that moment talking about something that has weight to it, and so therefore I need to wait. Cutie calling about the music video. Oh my god, when they called in about the music video. I know. Yeah. Sometimes you're in the middle of a serious topic and then you bring out the giant chapstick and I fucking lose it. That Sam has said the same thing. She's like, I'll watch your streams and you're covering something and then you bring out that fucking chapstick. And it's just the most ridiculous thing.
He is. That's what I'm saying.
Hogan, thank you for the gifted.
Will, you're way gayer than Austin is.
I've heard that from Christian.
You're Twink King.
I said that earlier. Where I go, Austin is the straightest gay man I know.
Where is this Pop Mart?
Yeah, we don't fucking know.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Peach led us on a wild goose chase.
No. I saw the float and they recognized me. And they go,
They were like, you're that girl from Twitch.
Peach. We were
You're that
going
girl from
based on your-
Twitch.
Is it that way?
I don't know.
Chat, help us.
No,
Chat, help
so
us.
what I think is, and look, if this isn't, look, we start walking from here. Look, we start walking from here. We start walking from here.
Has anyone seen the Pop Mart stands?
Pop Mart. Do you know where it is? No, that's what we're looking for.
Honestly, it's good to have those moments of levity in order not to get blackpilled, for sure.
Okay. Fuck.
Where's the Labubu?
Look, they're looking to
We're
fuck.
looking for Pop Mart and horse tranquilizers.
We'll probably find horse tranquilizers first.
Did he just say we're
Yeah,
looking
we
for
did.
Pop Mart and horse tranquilizer? Can I just say for the record, no, we were not. We were not looking for horse tranquilizer. No.
Serenade me. I will, or lose me forever. It's here. Hold on.
It's not that.
No. Hold on.
Labubu. I passed by this queen.
Guys, this is my song for Will Neff. You lift my whole life when my bus is on the ground. You pounded me, you fucking self-sucking God. If Miss Kwan sees me, she will literally kick me out.
What is this?
I'm coming now, slay. Katita.
Sorry.
On the egg. I hear your call real rough.
You guys, I did not hear this. No, I was walking behind them, chatting with Wake. I did not hear this song.
I hear your whole real rough. He no money shoot was tough, yeah. Your hole is in my face. I won't pull out of you. God choking in my embrace. I'm prodding onto you.
Degeneracy.
My dad and I wrote this Gordianus who contributed to that writing session. That is
For just the price. For just the price of your.
Who wrote that? And when? Also, I cannot believe it's to the tune of Let. There is no way he freestyled that. No way. He wrote it on stream like a month ago. And has he just been waiting to perform it? He was definitely reading it off his phone. I think it was a collab between him and his chat. Wow, the musical stylings of Christian. We need Christian and FanFan to sing together. You know what? We just need Christian and FanFan to collab. I think that energy. I think that energy would be a very wild one, let's just say.
Morning coffee, you can feed a twink.
Yes,
At
please.
Will Neff's Home for Wayward Twinks.
Please.
Please, guys. How do you guys think I got here to begin with?
Yes.
Austin? No. Will Neff
He's
charity.
straight. Austin is straight.
Start the rumor.
Me and Austin.
All right, where is this Pop Mart?
I don't know.
Austin.
I like how it used to be. I mean, whatever. The rumor being that someone's gay, and now the rumor is that a gay man is straight.
A little bit.
Will, I don't think it exists.
What do you
Look,
mean?
we only heard about it through rumor.
You only heard
And look,
about it through
Will,
an online
Start the rumor.
Will, they're setting up shops right now. I don't think it's there anymore.
No.
Wait, I can ask someone. I'll ask someone.
No.
Hey, we can go
My
to the
gay
end,
doppelganger,
and if not,
yes.
I'm gonna feed everybody. Is everybody hungry?
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
Austin's in chat.
Austin is in chat.
What's up, Austin? Wait, where's
How's
both
the
my
shower?
mans? Yeah, you fucked up.
Oh,
you fucked up.
Twinkie,
Enjoy your shower, bitch.
I want to smoke
this is the
weed
AI part.
and hold a puffer fish. Don't get a close up of my thumbs. They're toe thumbs.
Breaking down your milestones, and so you can hold a puffer fish. And they found 7 people that can help you.
Oh, this is AI.
This is AI, and there's 7 people that can help you.
That's really dog shit. I hate AI.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
She just goes, okay.
I don't know. I'm not gonna. Oh, what the fuck? Hell no. I mean, no, that was dog shit. It was some AI dog shit.
That is a 10 out of 10 clip.
That was incredible. She was pissed.
What?
Oh,
Okay.
you ate.
What? You're gonna fucking push me on your AI?
No,
bullshit?
that's some bullshit. Okay, let's do an Irish jig.
Okay, everyone, Irish
And a
jig.
5.
When did your shirt get back on?
5, 6, 7, 8, and a...
Why did we end this
Christian's concentrating.
Guys, what the hell was that?
Okay. Guys, Hassan is literally right there. That's crazy.
Wait, are you gonna raid somebody?
Yes.
Wait, it's Hassan. Oh my god! Guys!
Hassan!
No, Hassan!
Hi, Hassan!
Hassan's here, guys. This is crazy.
That's so crazy. He said he
Wait.
doesn't want to be on stream.
Wait, Pokey!
The 3 vampires. The 3 vampires that want you to let them into the club, showing up to the bar in Killers.
You ate.
What? You're gonna fucking push me on your AI?
No,
bullshit?
that's some bullshit. Okay.
Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Wait.
I pick poor Robin clean. Pick poor Robin clean. Pick his head, I pick his feet. I would have picked his body, but it wouldn't fit to eat. I pick poor Robin clean. Pick poor Robin clean. And I'll be satisfied having a family. Lord, didn't that jaybird laugh when I picked poor Robin clean. Poor Robin clean. Pick poor Robin clean, oh, didn't that jaybird laugh when I pick poor Robin clean, and I'll be satisfied.
Wait, what's the other one? Hold on. You're looking for Rocky. Oh yeah. Wait.
Then off to reap the corn.
Oh, is this the one they sing when they're like?
Where I was born.
Okay, we're running it back. Hold on.
For to banish ghosts and goblins. A brand new
Sinners, but make it pride.
to rattle over the bar. Well, in the merry month of May, from me home I started, left the girls of Tuam were nearly broken-hearted, saluted father dear, kissed me darling mother, drank a pint of beer, my grief and tears to smother, then off to reap the corn, leave where I was born, cut a stout black thorn to banish ghosts and goblins, brand new pair of brogues, rattling over the bogs and frightened all the dogs, on the rocky road to Dublin, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, put the hare and turner down the rocky road, and all the way to Dublin, what for lolly-da.
In Mullingar that night I rested loose, so weary started by day.
Why is that making me laugh so hard? I don't know why it's so fucking funny. As a former Irish dancer, Christian ate with the kick. Yeah, his kicks are fucking insane. I guess he is 23. I could kick like that when I was 23, okay? I'm no longer 23. Oh my God. Us as the Irish vampires. Us as the motherfucking Irish vampires. Trying to get in. Yes, he's a dancer. Yes. You're still 23 if you read it backwards. You know what? So true. Thank you for that. Raziel, thank you for the 15 months. It might be the ballet. Yeah, he is Billy Elliot. he is. He's younger than me. 23 is younger than a lot of people. Okay. All right. Hey. Okay, so for those of you who have asked me about JoJo Siwa. Yeah. Who has not seen the JoJo Siwa picture? We'll get to that in a second.
I see a lot of cops.
Later, yeah. Okay. Not with your backpack, but. Okay. Love you.
You're an IRL streamer.
It's the bright side. Thank you for the prime.
Someone just told me I smell so good because it's so sweaty in here. He was like, it's definitely you.
Oh God, it's the same bar. Chad, it's the same bartender from earlier.
God, the clip has everything. It really does.
Hi! We're back for more.
It's the bartender who poured the heavy pours.
Wait, thank you for this subscribing the prime.
Another Moscow Mule.
I want another Moscow Mule, I think.
Moscow Mules, Carolina.
Good stuff. Okay, you guys, I guess some of you have not seen the JoJo Siwa photo. Can I just say, all right. Before I show you the photo, for those of you who haven't seen it, can I just say, JoJo Siwa is what, 21? She's very young. She's been famous forever. And also in like the most fucked up way, right? Like the way that JoJo Siwa became famous. There are ways of become... do you know what I mean by that? There's like worse... There's a spectrum of how you become famous and kind of the levels of like how you're just kind of set up for life in the worst way possible, depending on how you become famous. The child reality star fame is not good on the spectrum of how you become famous. Becoming famous because you were a child reality star breaks ya. So JoJo, as we know, is often in the headlines these days because she tends to do the most, right? When she says things like, I invented gay pop, anytime she steps out, she's saying something or she's wearing something that gets attention. And then she, you know, she had like the mohawk at Glad and had like the sparkly trans jacket on. Now, I will give her space because I can't imagine figuring out your sexual identity when you live a life like JoJo Siwa. She probably will soon say she invented bisexuality for sure. But I think objectively, it's pretty fucked to cheat on your girlfriend while you're doing a reality show. And then this is like the confirmation that you are now dating this man. This is the weirdest picture. This man is 32 years old, Chris Hughes, who she met doing Big Brother. And remember, her girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, came to the set. And then JoJo broke up with her because she was with Chris Hughes. Bro, that's a newborn selfie. Yeah, it looks so weird. Like this mothers taking photos with their babies doing skin to skin. Right. I don't care who this is. Okay. It doesn't matter. This is such a fucking weird photo. Gay pop inventor. Yes. Gay pop inventor. Yeah, so it's not so much that it's like, look, we're not doing the whole discussion of if you come out publicly as a lesbian and then now you're like, actually, I think I'm not a lesbian. or vice versa, whatever it is. I don't think that that's really the thing to focus on, you know, but I think just how weird this picture is, that this was used. This was like the, what's it called? Hard launch? The hard launch. But ultimately, people are talking about JoJo Siwa again. And I don't know if JoJo Siwa's, I don't know if what she's all about is ultimately just always having people talking about her, right? People talking about you means you stay relevant. It means you're not going away anytime soon. It's such an uncomfortable photo. I know. It is. But how can we be sure they aren't hanging out? Well, here's what she said. JoJo Siwa confirmed she's officially dating Chris Hughes in a new statement to The Guardian. It's not platonic anymore. And it's been a beautiful development, a beautiful connection. And I'm absolutely head over heels for him, and he's the same way. And then it's this picture. I mean, no one's talking about her music, so you know what? True. No, ain't nobody talking about JoJo Siwa's music, so they gotta get the people talking somehow. Somehow, some way. JoJo Siwa. Like this photo, I saw a tweet saying how a mother holds her newborn baby right after birth. Right, that's what I'm saying. It's like, people who normally don't pay attention to pop culture in the way I do, and especially not the type of pop culture stories I do, have talked to me about this. They're like, have you seen the JoJo Siwa photo? Like, Will interviewed JoJo Siwa at GLAAD, but he was the first one to bring up to me. He said, did you see the JoJo Siwa photo with this guy? I said, yes, I have. I've seen it a million times. I've seen it so many times. It's the way he's cupping her head. The comparison to how a newborn mother holds her newborn mother, how a new mother holds her newborn. I saw it too much on the day of Pride. Yes, that was the other thing. It was like, on Pride, I swear to God, this photo was every other photo on my timeline. Does she have a PR team? Yes. Mm-hmm. It's giving when people take photos of themselves pretending to be asleep. The energy is so strange. It's very strange. Everything about this. I saw this pic and thought it was a dad with their child and went on with my day. Oh, God. It's just so, I don't know, he looks so old and she looks so child. That's what I'm saying, okay? That's what I'm saying. So before people are like, hey, I don't think that we should be getting on JoJo Siwa to like announce her sexual orientation, then stick with it, which, yeah, fine. As I said, she is a former child reality star. In no way is JoJo Siwa's upbringing or life normal whatsoever. And she is like she's going through all this rebranding. All right. When she came out, was like, I'm a lesbian and all my music is going to be super gay. And then the Big Brother thing, whatever. But I think aside, this isn't about JoJo being bi. This is about her being fucking cringe and having no self-awareness. Yes, there is that element of JoJo continuously saying and doing very cringe things. But all of that aside as well, I just cannot get over the photo. everything about the hand on the chest, the gripping of the head, that she looks like a baby. That she looks like a baby. And he's giving baby's mother. It's very strange. Then they said they were platonic like 5. Yes, they said they were. Wait, you're so right. Okay, that's also just like the insanity of this whole. Everything JoJo Siwa does is just ridiculous. All right. They said they were like, no, we're platonic. Photo drops. And then JoJo Siwa says it's not platonic anymore. I don't care about any of the other stuff. Just objectively, this is wild. Everything JoJo Siwa is doing ever is just like, it's just this. It's literally the SpongeBob. We're platonic. 5 minutes later. It's not platonic anymore, and it's been a beautiful development. And then this is the hard launch. This is the hard launch. Oh my God. I don't understand what's going on in her head. As I said, at the end of the day, I think JoJo is a character, right? I think JoJo Siwa has been a character her entire life since she was a child. And that character it morphs and changes. And she, got rid of the bow and the sparkles and then moved into her next phase. But she has been famous since she was, how old was she? Let's see. She has been famous since she was a kid, like literally 8 years old. Yeah. 8 years old. And she was on the show Dance Moms. And her mother is Jessalyn Siwa. The combination of factors surrounding JoJo Siwa's life results in there is no understanding of like, what's JoJo Siwa thinking? Why is JoJo Siwa? None of that. So I honestly can't imagine her having an actual relationship. There's JoJo Siwa the person, and I don't know who that is. I don't know. Maybe she doesn't even really exist anymore. And then there's JoJo Siwa the creation that is then in flux, as she's getting older and also trying to come up with her next thing. Everyone always asks, how is JoJo Siwa? No one asks, why is JoJo Siwa? She's just obsessed with attention and keeping it. She's becoming the person who continues the cycle instead of breaking it. She forgives and endorses Abby Lee Miller, Colleen Ballinger, James Charles, and even did her own fucked up child dance show. Like, she is that person now. Yeah, JoJo has a history of engaging in problematic things, and I think she will continue to. I think JoJo, I think this is JoJo Siwa. Right? JoJo's always going to give us a quote. She's always going to be in a headline. It's always going to be something like this. What's the Chris Hughes lore? I honestly don't really know because I'm not a huge reality show fan, but let me look it up. Chris Hughes is my age. He's 32. He's an English television personality and sports presenter. Let's see. And he was on Big Brother with JoJo. So JoJo cheated on her girlfriend with Chris Hughes, who's British, and they were on Celebrity Big Brother together. and this is the official confirmation now. But it's been like a couple weeks. It's been a couple weeks, maybe even longer than that. People, I'm sorry, I will take this off the screen. That people have been like, what's going on here? He used to date Jessie from Little Mix. Yes, he did. He did. Okay, I'm going to remove this photo from the screen. Apparently, he's cool with dating women without fully developed prefrontal cortexes. Yeah. I gotta be honest. I think that this is probably also just this is just publicity shit for him as well. You know, he's in this world. He's in the world of reality TV. You know, he was on Love Island. So I'm sure that this is a way for him to be talked about. You know, nobody knew. Like, how many of you fucking knew who Chris Hughes was? And now you know who he is. Because of this picture. Can you and Will recreate this photo for us? We can try. It will not hit the same. It will not hit the same. Okay. I had that on for far too long. I apologize, but also I've seen that photo. I've seen that photo a million times, and so now you've seen it as well. Rain, thank you for the 7 months. You would need some perspective tricks to look. I don't even know how he took that photo. I know. I feel as if I feel like I would have to do an entire photo shoot to try and capture the energy. To try and capture the energy of that one. Maybe Will is JoJo. Hold on. That could work. That could work. Oh, gosh. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, you guys. Okie dokie. Let's see, we're at 7 o'clock. All right. Actually, I need to go. Let me show you this video. We'll talk about this quickly, and then we'll get into the news on Jonathan Joss, which is just awful. But here is the Al Jazeera English video of Greta Thunberg saying, silence is more dangerous than sailing to Gaza. So right now, she and I think it's a group of 12 humanitarians who are sailing to Gaza on the Gaza Freedom Flotilla. It is a vessel carrying aid, and I believe Liam Cunningham is also part of that. And they are attempting to break the Israeli blockade of Gaza. So they're literally putting their bodies on the line. Israel has previously attacked flotillas with humanitarian aid, including one that was supposed to have Greta on it. And so this is essentially people with who are very high profile, who are doing this knowing that there's a chance that Israel attacks the ship, could cause them harm, and yet they understand the importance of using the power that they have, knowing that if Israel were to do that, it would of course be international news and would potentially it would be a fucking evil thing for Israel to do, but that it would make waves because of the people who are on this flotilla. So this is a way that you put your body on the line. I mean, this is by no means is their safety guaranteed, and they know that.
We're setting sail today about a month after our latest attempt to go on with this mission. The boat was bombed twice. All evidence suggests Israel. And we are doing this because we have to keep our promise to the Palestinians to do everything in our power to protest against the genocide and to try to open up the humanitarian corridor and break the siege. And we are doing this because no matter what odds we are against, we have to keep trying, because the moment we stop trying is when we lose our humanity. And no matter how dangerous this mission is, it is nowhere near as dangerous as the silence of the entire world in the face of a live-stream genocide. We are setting sail today about a month after our latest attempt to go on with this mission. The boat was bombed twice. All evidence suggests Israel.
It is wild that Liam Cunningham, who played the Onion Knight, is doing in real life what his character did in the show, breaking a blockade to feed starving people. Here's a video of, here he is.
Okay, hi, I'm Liam, Yasmin, Tiago. If you look in the background,
Sir Davos.
Beautiful boat. These beautiful people are going to be going to break the siege in Gaza. These are our coordinators. And if I may use it, they won't use the word our heroes. Please, tell them why you're here.
Hi, my name is Yasmin. I'm from Germany. I'm a German citizen, and I feel it's my duty to be here because Germany is the second largest weapon supplier to this genocide. For 19 months, they have been supplying weapons over weapons. They have not stopped aiding and abetting the genocide. And I'm here on the Madeleine to sail to Gaza to deliver the much needed aid, because for 3 months we have been seeing nothing but destruction. I mean, 19 months of destruction, but 3 months we have been seeing starvation. And the world is supporting that. Instead of stopping the genocide, instead of upholding humanity and international law, they're stepping on it with their feet. And that is why we are here. And we hope we can get to Gaza to deliver this aid and to deliver hope and to tell the Palestinians that they are not forgotten, that we are in solidarity with them, with an action.
It's very important that you share this action, not because of us, but we are doing this in solidarity with the Palestinian people. We are doing this to break the siege, to create a people's humanitarian corridor. So our boat is very small. We're carrying food, aid, medicine, we are carrying crutches, we are carrying prosthetics for amputated children, we are carrying water filters. It's a drop in the ocean for the necessities of the Palestinian people in Gaza, living 8 decades of genocide and ethnic cleansing. But it's an ocean that will get bigger with every action, with you going to demonstrations, with you doing boycotts, with you disrupting arm factories, with you breaking the media blockade, producing content to break the boycott of social media as well. We're all together in the same struggle. Thank you so much.
The international community is breaking international law. That's why we're here. We're doing the job that they're supposed to do. Please follow us, watch our progress, and make sure no harm comes to these beautiful people's heads.
Thank you so much, Lee. We are together.
Yeah, so much of this is, it's all commendable, but especially Liam Cunningham is using his celebrity to not only be as great of an advocate as he can be, but is always redirecting to the humanitarians who have been doing this work for a long time, who are a part of this. But of course, you know, names like Liam and Greta, those are the ones that get talked about in the media because they are high profile. And that's why it's also important that they're a part of it, but that he's always redirecting to the attention towards, towards the humanitarian groups that they are working with. And then in turn, they are directing the attention to the people of Palestine. And they're like, remember that this is for the people of Palestine, everything that this is all about. I'm so fucking sick of seeing these cynics online calling her a rich, unemployed Nepo baby when she's using her privilege the exact way that she should, putting her body on the front line for the good. It is the most cynical, bad faith, bullshit argument. It's not even an argument because it's just BS that they can't attack her in any reasonable way. And so instead they're like, oh yeah, well, Greta comes from wealth. Well, Greta's privilege. It's like, oh, you mean that it would have been really easy for her to just live a life of luxury and not not put her body on the line for those who do not have the resources and privileges that she grew up with. You're telling me that Greta, as a person who came from means, looked at the rest of the world and went, this is wrong that so many people are suffering? Wow. So I guess if you are wealthy, or if you come from wealth, you're not allowed to care about people who are less fortunate. You're not supposed to. What does that say, though? Who are Greta's parents? The other thing too is they're talking about her like she's a billionaire. She's certainly not. What the fuck did I just drop? She's certainly not, but even still, if she were to be a person who is principled and did not just go, well, you know what? I have a very nice life and I'm just all about me. And so I'm going to just live my life and enjoy the enormous privilege that I have, and everyone else, good luck out there. I remember meeting her a few years ago. She was one of the kindest people. I hate when I see any hate about her. But you understand why they do it. Why they try to discredit her, and it makes them look insane. People who are trying to discredit Greta look horrible. It only reveals their true selves. But yeah, to be clear, when people are like, "Oh, she's a rich nepo baby," whatever the fuck that means in terms of climate change, like, and activism, right? Like, imagine calling someone a nepo baby when they are an advocate for socialism, when they are like an anti-war advocate. They go, nepo baby. Okay, it's not like Greta is out here in Hollywood working as an actor where the term nepo baby is applicable. Like, nepo baby, as far as being a world-renowned activist. Great. You know what? I wish that were a thing. Nepo baby in the career of activism. Wild. Yeah. Crazy. I tweeted this earlier too. Look at how Arsen Ostrovsky, who is an international human rights lawyer, look at what he said. Oh, look, the little jihadi Greta Thunberg is trying to get into Gaza to show solidarity with Hamas. It would be so sad if something were to happen to her flotilla. That sounds like a threat. And then Lindsey Graham, a U.S. senator, said, hope Greta and her friends can swim. So not only is this full-on acknowledging that Israel bombs humanitarian or flotillas carrying humanitarian aid. Okay, so we're just admitting like, yeah, oh yeah, Israel does everything in its power to block aid from entering Gaza. But also, how gross is this? Just fucking disgusting. So gross. And a reminder too that Greta is what, 22 years old, and she has more bravery and more morals in her pinky finger than people like Lindsey Graham and Arsen Ostrovsky, two old ass men. These are old ass men, have in the entirety of their beings. They have nothing. There's also an American citizen on that flotilla, by the way, Lindsay. Oh yeah, I thought we cared about American citizens. I guess we don't. Legit, thank you so much. Yeah. Old men talking about a child, trying to beef with a child, but also in a way where they're like wishing death and harm upon her. Excuse me. Haven't done a lick of good with their lives. Yep. Yeah. So this is the website for the Freedom Flotilla to learn more about who they are, what they are all about. Freedom Flotilla Coalition 2023 to 2025. Since the 8th of October 2023, Israel has escalated its genocidal campaign against Palestinians in Gaza in an attempt to destroy all forms of life. The Israeli military has murdered tens of thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands. Many more have been wounded with no end in sight. Additionally, Israel's calculated starvation and blockade on all food, water, medical supplies, and fuel intentionally endangers the entire surviving population. The military continues to bomb, snipe, and systematically eradicate journalists, medical personnel and facilities, aid workers, civilians seeking refuge, and sanitation infrastructure. In response, the Freedom Flotilla Coalition launched 2 missions in 2024. In 2024, Break the Siege and Handala for the Children of Gaza, containing 17 years of nonviolent direct action against Israel's war crimes. Both missions were blocked by... And the other thing about that, too, is that this is nonviolent resistance, okay? This is nonviolent action to help the people of Palestine. And look at the way that these supporters of Israel, who are always screaming about Palestinians as inherently violent people, of supporters of Palestine as violent, calling for violence to befall these humanitarians who are engaging in nonviolent humanitarian work. It's like, do you not see where the violence is coming from? It's certainly not coming from these humanitarians. Now in 2025, responding to calls from Palestinian partners in Gaza and in line with the orders of the International Court of Justice and the universal right to freedom of movement, the FFC is preparing to sail as soon as practicable to challenge Israel's illegal blockade once again. This collective movement is a manifestation of global support for Palestinian self-determination, helping to amplify the voices of people in Gaza who are resisting annihilation and erasure. So I believe that they set sail from European international waters 2 days ago, a day ago or 2 days ago. And let me see when they are. Okay, so sorry, today is Monday, right? They set sail on Sunday afternoon. I'm trying to see if there is, when will you can track the ship here. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, look at that. Okay. So this is where they're heading right here, as you can see. So they are crossing through international waters. They left yesterday afternoon, and this is where they currently are. So it's very important that all eyes are on this flotilla, which is why they have a tracker, which is why they're sharing a lot of social media content, because the more eyes that are on this, the more people that are paying attention to ensure these, it ensures the safety and the success of this vessel carrying really crucial aid, that they make it to Gaza. So it's all eyes on the flotilla, which is why they have very, very prominent figures on board. And it puts more pressure on Israel to not bring any harm to this vessel. All right, I have about 45 minutes before I got to jump on with Will. So let's get to talking about Jonathan Joss. Okay.
Now to a story that's getting...
Okay. Alrighty. Jelmer, thank you for the 12 months. Legit, thank you. Chugis, yes, permission granted. If you go through some of the crew, I seem to recognize one of the people from BuzzFeed back in the day. Very cool to see them on board. I hate how this has to be done to people on board are so fucking brave for putting up with this bullshit for... I mean, they're using their... A lot of them, of course, are lifelong dedicated humanitarians. But having celebrities... also, this group here... So this is incorrectly stated. It's not that these people are all on board, but these are all people who are a part of the coalition. Celebrities who are... using their, using their fame and their platforms to draw attention to the Freedom Flotilla Coalition. So we have Alana Hadid, Susan Sarandon, Daniel Macover, Abby Martin, Brian Eno, Max Porter, Aisha Hart, Greta Thunberg, Liam Cunningham, India Moore, Guy Pearce, Ramazine, Maxine Peake, Melissa Barrera, Lisa Morrish, Nicole Jenis, Juliet Stevenson, Misan Harman, Khalid Abdallah, Nan Golden, Susan Abul Hawa, Nel Naja, and Carice Van Horen. I think that's who that's supposed to be right here. All right. Actually, one second, you guys. Hold on a second. Okay, so just a heads up, I was scouring through the news reports on Jonathan Joss's murder because I wanted to, pull one up for stream, and so many of them enraged me in the way that they had covered this. And it wasn't just ones that were covering it right when the news broke, before more details were released, before his husband put out a statement. This was like after his husband's statement, and it's like, the coverage is so bad on it because they are not leading with the fact that this was a homophobic hate crime, that this was a violent act that was a result of bigotry. And the way that these various news outlets are discrediting his husband's statement, that they're not taking it into serious consideration as a witness, and also that when they talk to the neighbors who, in every single one of these accounts, it's like, oh, well, the neighbors say that this feud had been going on for a long time. So it's being presented as like, oh, this argument between two neighbors, and then it turned violent. And it's like, okay, what is the source of this feud? This was not a two-sided thing. Additionally, Jonathan Joss's husband talked about how they had received threats from neighbors, plural, meaning the neighborhood that they had been in, which also their house burned down because their electricity had been messed with. It had been, they had been the victims of vandalism, and that happened back in January, I believe. And so it sounds as if, based on his husband's statements, where he said he had previously reported threats, it sounds as if the neighborhood they were living in was maybe not friendly to them as a gay couple. And then also, it's important to point out that Jonathan Joss was not just a gay man, but he is indigenous, right? He's an elder indigenous gay man who lives in Texas. He was, because he was murdered. Yeah, he was murdered. So we're going to talk about him. Most people know him because he was a voice actor as well as a non-voice actor, but he was best known for voicing the character of John Redcorn on King of the Hill. And John Redcorn was one of the few native representations. Really, I mean, even still today, native representation is horrible, but especially when King of the Hill first aired, You know, this was 1997. I think his character appeared on the second or third season. So this was over 2 decades ago, and he was on the show for 10 years. And he was really one of the few, this character is one of the few native representations in contemporary film and television. So it was a really big deal. And anyway, what happened was that yesterday, the first day of Pride Month, June 1st, he was shot and killed by someone who I'm still not for sure if this was a guy who lived in the neighborhood. It does sound as if there had previously been issues there, that Jonathan Joss and his husband had previously had to deal with this man, or just other neighbors who had been hostile towards them. But he was shot and killed on Sunday night in San Antonio, Texas. According to the New York Times, the neighbor was he was a neighbor. Okay. The neighbor was identified by investigators as Sigfredo Seja Alvarez, who was taken into custody and charged with murder. According to a statement shared on Joss's Facebook account by his husband, Tristan Kern D. Gonzalez. Let me just actually read the statement here. Okay. Statement from Tristan Kern D. Gonzalez, husband of Jonathan Joss. My husband, Jonathan Joss, and I were involved in a shooting while checking the mail at the site of our former home. That home was burned down after over 2 years of threats from people in the area who repeatedly told us they would set it on fire, which is why I am highly suspect of all of the news outlets that have been reporting on this story, where they've talked to the neighbors, or the way it's being presented is, oh, well, Jonathan, you know, he was always yelling. He was a very private person. He didn't like people driving in front of his house. There were just a lot of issues in the neighborhood where it's making it sound as if Jonathan Joss was the problem here. And he was just murdered in a hate crime. Like, I think it's important to keep going back to that. That home was burned down after 2 years of threats from people in the area who reportedly told us they would set it on fire. We reported these threats to law enforcement multiple times and nothing was done. This is not surprising. Also, where is it? Is it in this? The San Antonio. Oh yeah, here we go. This is the San Antonio PD Twitter account. SAPD Homicide is currently investigating the murder of Mr. Jonathan Joss. Despite online claims of this being a hate crime, currently the investigation has found no evidence to indicate that Mr. Joss's murder was related to his sexual orientation. SAPD investigators handle these allegations very seriously and have thoroughly reviewed all available information. Should any new evidence come to light, the suspect will be charged accordingly. Sure. I am so sure that you are approaching this in a very honest, in a very honest way, where you care so much about rooting out hate crimes and making sure that when a hate crime happens, that you're identifying it as such. I'm so sure the San Antonio Police Department cares very much about an older queer Indigenous man who had issues. He and his husband had issues with neighbors and had reported it to the police, and nothing was done. So I'm very sure that the San Antonio Police Department is being honest when they say that this was not a hate crime, and that they are continuing to investigate, and if anything changes, then they will charge the suspect accordingly. Yep. Okay, so back to his husband's statement. Throughout that time, we were harassed regularly by individuals who made it clear they did not accept our relationship. Much of the harassment was openly homophobic. When we returned to the site to check our mail, we discovered the skull of one of our dogs and its harness placed in clear view. This caused both of us severe emotional distress. We began yelling and crying in response to the pain of what we saw. While we were doing this, a man approached us. He started yelling violent homophobic slurs at us. He then raised a gun from his lap and fired. Jonathan and I had no weapons. We were not threatening anyone. We were grieving. We were standing side by side. When the man fired, Jonathan pushed me out of the way. He saved my life. Jonathan is my husband. He gave me more love in my time in our time together than most people ever get. We were newlyweds. We picked Valentine's Day. We were in the process of looking for a trailer and planning our future. He was murdered by someone who could not stand the sight of two men loving each other. I was with him when he passed. I told him how much he was loved. To everyone who supported him, his fans, his friends, know that he valued you deeply. He saw you as family. My focus now is on protecting Jonathan's legacy and honoring the life we built together. If your concern is how someone coped with trauma or how loudly they speak when recounting injustice and being ignored by authorities, then you never truly cared about my husband. Jonathan saved my life. I will carry that forward and I will protect what he built. Tristan Kern D. Gonzalez. I was at ATX TV Fest when he was there. He was not invited to the panel, but attended as a guest and spoke out from the audience during it. I don't know what happened, but I've been wondering why he wasn't invited. I don't know about that, but I do know that that was 2 days ago. Like, that was only 2 days ago. Like, he is in the middle. His last social media post was him talking about the King of the Hill reboot. SAPD is complete shit. Signed someone they tried to charge with 2 felonies for not pulling over fast enough. Yeah, as I said, with a very sarcastic tone, I'm sure that the SAPD has found no evidence to indicate that this murder was related to Jonathan Joss's sexual orientation and that they handled these allegations very seriously. I am so sure. It's the whole thing is so, it's so awful. The fact that Jonathan Joss was killed to begin with, that this was on the first day of Pride Month, which serves as a reminder that Pride, which started as a revolution, remains as a revolution because LGBTQ people in this country are still being killed, that they are experiencing violence via legislation, via individual hate crimes like this, and also because of the way that this has been reported on by a lot of outlets, where so many of them are like very hesitant to make this connection here, that they're just like ignoring his husband's statement that it's like his husband as a witness doesn't matter at all, and yet the neighbors saying things like, oh well, Jonathan Joss, he was a pretty angry person, there was always trouble over there, he was in an argument with this guy, that's what we're leading with in the reporting here. Like, here's an example.
National attention today. Real-life drama has led to the death of a Hollywood actor right here in San Antonio. 59-year-old Jonathan Joss, known for his role in the animated series King of the Hill, was shot dead in a South Side neighborhood. Katrina Weber shows us why people there say that this was a final act in a series of problems.
This house was built by my dad in 1957 for my mom.
Actually, before we watch this, just to give a little context.
My name's Jonathan. My name is Jonathan Joss. Okay. I do film and television. I'm the voice of John Redcorn on King of the Hill. Yes, I'm the voice of John Redcorn on King of the Hill. While I was out of town, it was vandalized. They took wires out. They knocked my pole down. So the city, no electricity, no gas. So in order to stay warm, we did the best we can. I was just told that one of my dogs died. This is a house I grew up in. I'm more concerned about my dog that died. But you know what? The good Lord will protect us. I don't know which one is dead yet, man. They won't let me go in the house. This house was built by my dad in 1957 for my mom, because it's been really, really cold, man. And when you don't have electricity, when you don't have gas, we went to a hotel because it was so cold for the last couple of nights. I wanted to come home and take care of my dogs. I don't have a job. I don't have children. I'm missing one more dog. It's my fault. You know, or if somebody came in and did something, who knows? But mistakes happen, man. And it's my fault for I guess, leaving something on.
Yeah, so what happened was it sounds as if the house that they had been vandalized, okay, somebody fucking with the gas lines, the electricity, and that they had to leave because they had no heat in the home, and then returned to take care of the dogs, I don't know. And then maybe either put a warmer on, etc., and any and all of these series of events led to the house burning down. And so this happened 4 months ago in January. And according to his husband, that they had been reporting these threats from neighbors where they were threatening to burn their house down, and that anything that they said to the police was not taken seriously.
Now to a story that's getting Jonathan Joss, known for his role in the animated series King of the Hill, was shot dead in a South Side neighborhood. Katrina Weber shows us why people there say that this was a final act in a series of problems.
This house was built by my dad in 1957 for my mom.
This was no role, but real-life heartbreak for actor Jonathan Joss when his family home on Dorsey Street burned down in January. On Sunday, neighbors say he was back on the now empty lot, checking on the Southside property when he got into a deadly confrontation.
So I just got into my vehicle, turned it on, and so my back was to them. I didn't see when it happened.
A pile of mail now sits where this neighbor who hid her identity says Joss was standing, arguing with someone in a car right before gunshots rang out.
I just ducked and waited, and the car drove off fast, and then that's when I looked up and I saw him on the ground.
Joss died from his wounds. San Antonio police have arrested a neighbor, 56-year-old Sigfredo Ceja Alvarez, for his murder. Joss was best known for voicing the John Redcorn character in the animated series King of the Hill. He also appeared in Parks and Recreation. In the neighborhood, people say Joss made his presence known, and not always in a good way.
We would see him down the street, yelling, ranting and raving, sometimes walking up and down the street.
Neighbors say Joss took the whole private property concept very seriously.
I'm telling you, I looked through so much, and a lot of this is the local news coverage, and the way that they framed this. And remember, one person is dead here. One person is dead here, and it's Jonathan Joss. And framing him as like the problem in the neighborhood. Yeah, the shot of the syringe, the neighbors not showing their faces. How about the one neighbor even being like, I didn't see what happened? But clearly assumptions are being made here. And I've seen various neighbors talking about how like, oh, Jonathan Joss, he would cause issues. Like he was always getting in fights with people.
Even after his house had burned down, they say he fiercely protected not only what was behind the fence,
wonder
but
why.
well beyond it.
But the way that that's made to sound like he's a problem. I wonder the fuck why he was so fiercely protective of his property even when it burned down.
Different things. He'll argue with different people.
Maybe somebody would drive by his home. He didn't like people.
Do you hear all this? Like he would argue with different people. What this is doing is blaming him for being murdered.
Driving in front of his home.
One neighbor says she saw similar behavior from Joss Sunday, although it's still unclear exactly how that led to him being shot. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Like, oh my God. That saw similar behavior from him, but how did that lead to him being shot? Like they're trying to make this out to be that Jonathan Joss was this really, really problematic neighbor that all the neighbors were like, yeah, he was always, being weird and yelling and like was really weird about his property and blah, 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 blah. And now he's dead. And I guess that fight, all these fights that he was having, well, one of them led to this outcome here that was deadly.
News.
The local news is trying to justify him being murdered to protect the police, not doing anything about his police. Yeah, and it's also because he's dead. And so you have these testimonies coming in from people who are not dead, the neighbors of Jonathan Joss, who, remember, Jonathan Joss's husband had said in his statement that they had been dealing with issues from their neighbors. And so they're just using the neighbors' statements to paint this picture that erases the fact that Jonathan Joss was an indigenous gay man who, according to his husband, was killed because of that. Yeah, like saying nothing. And this is all, oh my God. It's so gross. It's so gross. Joss was found near the street by officers, and paramedics pronounced him dead when they arrived. The San Antonio Police Department did not respond to Rolling Stone's request for comment. Joss was best known for his distinct voice playing Redcorn, a Native American character on King of the Hill, which ran for 13 seasons from 1997 to 2008. The series will return to the small screen 15 years after it ended its original run, and Hulu will debut season 14 of King of the Hill in August. It's unclear if Joss will be featured in the revival. Joss also featured in a recurring role on the popular television show Parks and Rec as Chief Ken Hotate. He also appeared in Tulsa King, Ray Donovan, True Grit, and The Magnificent Seven. Before his death, he posted a video on Instagram as he shared his excitement about the beloved series' return, saying that the reboot is up and moving and invited fans to meet him at a comic shop in Austin, Texas, and take photos for free. When walking around the shop and discussing his character in the new series, his role in the next season has not yet been confirmed, he mused about the idea of expiration dates. We have them, man, life and death. Sometimes we have a talent, a desire. Sometimes you get put on a shelf. If you're canned and you put on the shelf, expiration date is like forever. Be a can of whoop ass when you get on that shelf. Think about moving forward. Think about being a can with an amazing expiration date. So even if they put you on the shelf, man, when you come out of that can, you're fresh. Ugh. So, yeah, it's, what's so frustrating is when people will, of course, like, when people talk about Palestine and when they talk about just Arab nations in general, right? The religion of Islam, they're always talking about it being uncivilized, about it being so barbaric, right? How many times have we seen if you're gay, they'll kill you in Gaza. They're killing you in the United States of America, which holds itself up as the beacon of democracy, of freedom, of civilization. That here in America, we are civilized, and these other places over here, they're uncivilized. And that's why we have to go over there and bomb the shit out of them, because they're uncivilized, because they're barbaric, because look at what they do to gay people. Well, look at what we do to gay people in this country. Look at what we do in the United States of America. The beacon of democracy, of freedom. We're always talking about freedom here. Does this look like freedom? Does this look like freedom? Is this something to brag about? In Texas alone, in San Antonio, Texas, which is where Jonathan Joss was murdered, there have been nearly 170 state bills targeting LGBTQ people that have been introduced in just Texas this year. That is just in Texas. In the past week, Republicans in the Texas House have been trying to pass a bill that would ban clubs that support gay teens. claiming that this is the work of monsters, quote, that having these clubs encourages like evil, disgusting sex acts. This is what's happening in Texas right now, in the state where Jonathan Joss was murdered yesterday, in a country that brags about how free it is and how we have to go into places around the world that don't have the freedom that we have. And we have to kill people there because freedom. This is the bill that I'm talking about. So Democrats in Texas have said that the ban endangers children and strips them of their dignity. Senate Bill 12, which was authored by Senator Brandon Creighton, won final legislative passage Saturday after lawmakers in both chambers adopted the conference committee reports that specifically clarified that schools will be banned from authorizing or sponsoring student clubs based on sexual orientation or gender identity. Backers proclaim that the bill enshrines a parent's rights and puts the parent not just at the table, but at the head of the table where the child's best interests are decided. They also targeted diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, claiming that they project ideologies on students and put too much focus on race, sexuality, and gender identity instead of the quality of education. So, to be clear, that they are trying to flood the zone with this shit, okay? 170 bills being introduced in Texas. Not all of them. A lot of them won't get through. But some of them will. They are getting through. And the point is to keep introducing more and more and more anti-LGBTQ legislation to see what you can get away with, to see how extreme of legislation you can get through these House legislatures. So they know that not everything is going to get through, but some things will. And it overwhelms the individuals and the groups in these states that are trying to fight back against this legislation. Like, here's another, I mean, this one is so extreme. But again, that is the point here, is to see what they can get away with. A Texas bill would make identifying as transgender a felony punishable by jail. The bill, while unlikely to pass, highlights the increasing extremism of legislation targeting trans people, especially in Texas in recent years. So it's important to be aware of this stuff, not because it's necessarily going to happen, but because they're trying to see what they can get away with. And also because what this shows is how much more extreme anti-LGBTQ legislation is becoming. Last month, Texas State Rep Brent Money, a Republican, filed a bill that would make it illegal for a healthcare provider to treat any patients, including adults, with puberty-suppressing medication, hormone therapy, or surgeries if the purpose of the treatment is to affirm the patient's gender identity. Yeah, no worries if you're cisgender and you're if you're a cis man and you want to get your hairline done, or you're a cis woman, you want to get bigger boobs, gender affirming care, things that make you feel better in your gender identity. All good if you're cisgender. If you are transgender, despite the fact that 94% of trans people report satisfaction and a better improvement in their lives from gender affirming care, that is so important, that it is very close to 100% that this thing, this ability to access care makes a big difference in trans people's lives. Money's bill is a replica of a law enacted in 2023 that prohibits such treatment for minors. The text of the new bill shows the word child struck out and replaced with person to apply to adults. The bill would also prohibit medical institutions from receiving public funds if they provide any such treatments. Texas has provided a blueprint over the last decade. Oh, and that's the other thing too, okay? What happens in states like Texas, other states will look to, right? So we saw this with abortion. When red states were successful in passing these really, really extreme abortion bills, right? They started off maybe 12 weeks and then got down to 6 weeks. That success helps other red states. It helps those legislators in those states. It provides a blueprint for how to pass extreme legislation like that in their own state. Gremlow always talks about how Louisiana is a testing ground for more extreme laws. Yes, absolutely, where they try and see what they can do, and if it works, then it provides a blueprint. So, on the first day of Pride Month, when Jonathan Joss was murdered, it is important to take this moment and remember why Pride exists and what Pride is all about. It's not just getting drunk and partying, and I wish it were just purely a celebration. But it started as a revolution, and it remains as such because equality in this country has not been achieved. Pride is about resistance, and resistance resistance takes many forms, but the resistance aspect must be remembered. And Marsha P., the glorious Marsha P., said, "No pride for some without liberation for all." And if one trans person is still marching for their rights, then we all are. It's not just red states. There was an article about a teen trans athlete who won state in track and people were booing her. This was in Seattle. I mean, fucking Gavin Newsom on his stupid ass podcast recently was talking about how deeply unfair women in trans sports is. Thank you, Gavin Newsom, Governor of California. This chart shows the extreme rise in anti-trans bills that have been proposed in this country the past few years. Not included on this chart are the 850 plus specifically anti-trans laws proposed just this year. It is eliminationist. Yeah. And the thing to bear in mind is that just anti-LGBTQ sentiment in general still exists. It's just that the attacks on the trans community is where they have been able to make pretty strong footholds at repressing the entire LGBTQ community. So when white transphobic gays, and the ones who will vote for Donald Trump are out here in their little skivvies, partying and being transphobic, it's like, do you think that you are safe? Do you think that you, as a gay person in this country, are ultimately safe? You're not. You're not. There has certainly been progress for specific groups within the LGBTQ, okay? You've got gay marriage. That was an enormous fight. However, the reason that they are going so hard on the trans community is because progress has not been made for trans people in the way that it has for gay people. And this has been a way for them to get in, but believe it, that the truth is that this is about oppressing all LGBTQ people. Okay? This is about oppressing you if you do not fit the, heteronormative societal standard that conservatives want to be, the society that they want to live in. When they talk about returning to the 50s, when they talk about returning to an era of America where we have nuclear families, where everyone's white, even though that was never the case in this country, but we know what they mean when they say that. It's all part of the same goal, okay? The same rhetoric they use for trans people, they use for the gay and lesbian community as well. Yeah. And have you seen this? The FBI is going after us. Yeah. What? Oh my God. This is what I'm talking about. Help the FBI protect children. As the Attorney General has made clear, we will protect our children and hold accountable those who mutilate them under the guise of gender affirming care. Report tips of any hospitals, clinics, or practitioners performing these surgical procedures on children at 1-800-CALL-FBI. All I can picture is Kash Patel's face, where he perpetually looks like he's shit his pants. But okay, this protect the children energy, this is what they have always said. It's just now they're using this towards the trans community in particular because it's effective. This is what they said about gays in the 80s, right? About queer people in the 60s. They're like, we need to protect kids. It's all a way to create fear in the general public that their kids are not safe. And they feed on people's anxieties, and then they harden that and turn it into anger. And that bigotry is directed at people who don't belong, at people who are the current targets of the power in this country. I thought this was an important tweet. What's missing from a lot of the discourse I'm seeing is that Jonathan is Native American. He's Comanche and Apache. His husband is Latino, unsure if he is also Amerindian. This is not just a homophobic attack, but a racist one as well against an indigenous man. Yeah, the layers here of Jonathan Joss being a queer indigenous elder who was murdered, you know, and that not being reported on. On the first day of Pride Month. And then I wrote this too. I would like to add as a reminder to my fellow streamers and content creators, when you use homophobic and transphobic language, you are promoting violence against a community that is fighting for their survival. Literally fighting for their survival. You share space with LGBTQ creators and viewers, and you owe them dignity. You have influence, and you wield that influence in a way that does not bring harm to others. So I need people to make the connections, okay? I need them to make the connections from something that starts maybe as a joke. Oh, it's just a little gay joke. It's just a little trans joke, okay? And I don't mean like, I don't mean in the way where we're all laughing and having fun. I mean jokes that are transphobic and homophobic. That's what I mean. It starts there and it ends here. Okay? Because this normalization of this bigotry, this is violence in and of itself. And it does not always lead to someone being shot and killed, but it can, and it does. So next time you go, oh, it's just a joke. It's just a joke. Remember that people are dying. And all of this rhetoric contributes to an environment that normalizes violence against the LGBTQ community. So it's very serious, and it is not something that can just be dismissed. And it makes their deaths seem permissible. Right. Because when they are ill-treated in life, they are ill-treated in death as well. Bigoted jokes are literally a tool to normalize the idea of being violent to minorities. Yeah, I mean, just in my own experience, jokes about me being Asian when I was growing up, it didn't just start and stop at jokes. I experienced physical and verbal violence. Like, as a minority, it was never just jokes. Literally, like, so many streamers are basically raising the next generation, instilling them with more bigotry. Yes, and if you are a content creator, you have influence. And if you have influence, you have responsibility. And you owe it to the people you share a space with. You owe it to ensure that harm does not befall them because of your words. And if you are not making the connection between your homophobic and transphobic language and these little jokes to this, to the 18-year-old trans girl, Charlotte Fosgate, who recently died by suicide because she was tired of living in a world where her identity was, did not make her safe. And the amount of hatred that this poor girl had to deal with until finally she couldn't anymore. Like, there are sadly too many examples that we see all the time still, where bigotry does not start and stop with simply words. It leads to trans kids taking their own lives. It leads to neighbors picking up a gun and murdering their neighbors. It leads to, so much violence. This clip from Bug's Life is obviously not about this, but I always found it fitting to show how microaggressions and jokes can build up to be harmful. I think I know what you're talking about. I'll watch that afterwards. I want to talk about Charlotte for a second here. So you may have seen posts, Charlotte's last post that she posted from the bridge that sadly she jumped off of. And of course, because it's on Twitter, there were so many disgusting comments and people who were mocking her. And this was before it was confirmed that she had died. Sorry, she was 17, not 18. She was 17. She was last seen on May 1st. Her family thought that she might be suffering from mental health issues. Her most recent post on X was concerning, showing a picture of the Portland skyline with the words, "It's a pretty view," and one more tweet, "Long way down." And you know the thing about these fucking transphobes? They will talk about transgenderism as they're like, transgenderism, a mental disorder. See, this is what leads to trans people killing themselves. It's like, really? Is it the transgenderism or is it the transphobia? Is it that you are such a hateful person to a 17-year-old who's just trying to live her life, who is just a teenager, and is having strangers on the internet tell her to kill herself because she's trans, who even after she has are celebrating that. They are responsible. They are responsible for what happened to her, and never forget it, right? These sickos online who it's like, oh, I'm just making jokes. All of that leads to this. After 4 weeks of searching, friends close to Fosgate's family confirmed on May 27th that she had been found dead, with police believing the cause was suicide. To all the kids and teens who follow Charlotte's story, please know this. It's okay to be hurting. It's okay to feel lost, confused, or sad. What matters most is that you don't carry it alone. There is help, there is hope, and there are people who care deeply about you. Charlotte's life mattered, and so does yours. Fosgate wasn't famous before she went missing. She was just a teenage girl, and she was struggling with her mental health. And the thing is that this is why we talk about why things like gender affirming care and societal acceptance, why these are so important. Why do you think trans youth report high rates of mental health issues? Now, if you're a transphobe, you'll say it's because of transgenderism. When you know better, when you know what's actually going on here, it's because they are living in an environment that is hostile to them as individuals, that is not allowing them to exist as they are in this world. That is incredibly, incredibly just demoralizing and exhausting to deal with. For both trans teens and adults active online, they recognize Fosgate because they say they used to be her. And while friends and family of the teen mourned her premature death, anti-trans commentators on X turned her last post into a whirlwind of transphobia, misgendering her, mocking her, and celebrating her family's loss. Yeah, these people are really godly. These people are really the good ones, huh? Mocking a teen who died by suicide. Wow, you're on the right side here. This reminds me of poor Leela Alcorn, who also took her life in 2014 after so much transphobia and threats, including from her own family. This is a lot of trans people's, a lot of LGBTQ and people's experience. And in some regards, for some groups, progress has been made, but for others, they are under attack. They're under heavy attack daily. Now, online queer communities on X, Reddit, and TikTok are combating the hate by making digital memorials where people can wish Fosgate a peaceful rest. Those who spoke with Rolling Stone say it doesn't feel like enough to combat the onslaught of political pressure and public targeting, but it's a start. Since the trans community is so small and there aren't many people who really care about us, we really only have ourselves. Everest M., an 18-year-old girl from Michigan, tells Rolling Stone. And when that number lessens, it really hits hard. She was like, that's the other thing too. Trans people are less than 2%, 1% of the population. It's such a small group of people. And so this here, when that number lessens, it really hits hard because it's such a small percentage of people who are transgender, and they just want to exist. She was only 17. That's a year younger than me, so that hits close to home. People who identify as transgender make up an extremely small portion of the LGBTQ+ umbrella, with market research group Ipsos estimating around 1% of adults globally are trans. That number shrinks even more when narrowed down to the US, somewhere around 0.09%. According to the Human Rights Campaign and the UCLA Williams Institute, around 1.6 million Americans are trans. It's a small cohort, which makes the outsized focus on the trans community in conservative politics especially threatening for many. Dozens of states have instituted bans preventing trans children from using bathrooms that match their gender identities. Others prevent trans girls from playing sports. The federal government is currently in an ongoing lawsuit with the ACLU over Donald Trump's plan to restrict gender markers on U.S. passports. On May 22nd, the House also passed a tax bill that would block people using Medicaid from coverage for gender-affirming healthcare and no longer require plans under the ACA to include it. It's an environment that would make any community concerned, but there's also a mental toll that anti-trans rhetoric can have on trans people, especially children and teenagers. According to a national survey conducted by the nonprofit organization The Trevor Project, a majority of LGBTQ plus students say they've been harassed at school. 2 out of 3 queer youth said hearing about anti-LGBTQ bills made their mental health worse. And half of transgender and non-binary young people seriously consider suicide during childhood. You want to protect the children? You want to save the kids? Then stop doing this to them. Adults talking about how we have to protect the kids. You are doing this to children. You are not only not protecting them, you are causing them harm. Okay, I wanted to watch this. Oh, wait a second. Hold on.
The first Pride Parade in New York was in 1970.
So this is a video. Is Pride a protest or a party?
A year after the Stonewall riots, and it was called the Christopher Street Liberation Day March. Other marches in LA and Chicago also happened that year, and thousands of people attended across the country. Pride parades are rooted in those riots, and for a lot of people, that should always be at the forefront of the way that we go about celebrating Pride. But not for everyone. Now, it's interesting to note that there had been events prior to Stonewall to protest for gay rights. The annual reminder in Philadelphia, for example, but they were all rooted in seeming as normal as possible. They had dress codes where men had to wear suits and ties and women had to wear dresses. The idea was, we're just like you. They held placards saying things like, homosexuals should be judged as individuals. It was very, I'm not like those gays, I'm a good gay. And there had also been spontaneous protests before, outside the Black Cat Tavern in LA, for example. But Stonewall was this turning point. You had the bravery of the people at the fringes of even our community, the queer women of colour, the drag queens, the hustlers, but then you also had people who were in touch with networks of gay and lesbian people who are able to spread the news of what was happening, and people who work for gay publications like The Advocate. We spread that news. Stonewall wasn't just a turning point because it was a turning point because we said it was. So undeniably, Pride parades have roots within these riots, within this protest culture. But is that all they are? And if there are a multitude of things, can those coexist? That is what we're going to try and unpick in this video today. So for some people, the mantra Pride is a protest is like, that's a full sentence. Pride is a protest, end of story, that's it. And for some people, it's the opposite. It's a party, it's a celebration, and that's the end of the sentence and that's it. And these two ideas, this is not new. This isn't a case of like millennials are ruining Pride. You know, it was always been political and now suddenly it's a party. Literally, from the very first year that Pride parades were going on, this was something that people were questioning and complaining about. You know, we had Christopher Street West, which was the West Hollywood kind of pride that was happening in 1970, and that was a complaint because that was organised as well as by activists, by artists, by religious leaders, by social kind of leaders, and had much more of like, said to be a celebratory vibe, and that was criticised even back then. But here's where those things like maybe clash a little bit, which is that like, is the party in itself political? Like the Queer Liberation Front in the years after Stonewall held gay-ins. Being open and out and yourself, like even today, is still a pretty radical act for a lot of queer and trans people. Other things that we might kind of distinctively say Pride is in its totality is like a community event or a political march, right? There's lots of ideas about what Pride can be kind of in individual strands. You know, is Pride about bringing the community together? Is Pride about fighting for rights? Is it about discussing issues? Is it about sharing history? And like personally, I think that to just condense it down to the very pithy like Pride is a protest ignores some of the kind of things that we need as a community that can't just be settled in that very specific way. However, I think it's pretty idealistic to say that all of these things can peacefully exist together with no friction, particularly with the rise of the sort of party element of Pride culture. This party element often increases the size and therefore the cost of Pride events, and we have some examples of like LGBT community groups being priced out of the parade when they have to pay for a space, which brands then get. And we also have cases like Sheffield Pride, which has gone very hard line that Pride is a celebration and not a protest, and therefore will be able to remove placards that it say are not appropriate to.
I'm so sorry. I hit a button, y'all. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened.
that particular message. They haven't been very specific with like what those guidelines are going to be, but we do know that, for example, you won't be allowed to use swearing on the placards. Increased size and scale and cost also means that, as I mentioned, brands are increasingly being bought into it. So the brands...
Yeah, except, have y'all noticed that brands, they've even dropped the corporate... they've dropped the corporate support of Pride. It's like, oh, okay. Wow, you don't even see the commercial value here, I guess. This is how fucking afraid you are of Trump, or you're just... I mean, obviously it was never organic and real in the first place, but yeah, it's like not even the capitalist approach to the commodification of Pride.
Marching thing is a bit of a sticky issue. On the one hand, it's like, is anything wrong with these brands wanting to support the community? Is there anything wrong with them wanting to support the employees that they have that are LGBTQ+, and which are often the ones who are going to be on the float themselves? But on the other hand, are there any checks and balances to work out, like, are these brands doing, like, supporting their employees the rest of the year? Are Pride actually checking this, or is it just a case of like, you can buy a float, give us the money, and you can have a float? Also, the question is, are brands marching and having floats in Pride different to brands sponsoring Pride? So if brands are sponsoring Pride, are they actually doing more? Are they giving directly to the community? Or are they just trying to get a bigger profile? And do they have any control over the event itself and the messages that can be portrayed there? And I do think that it would be very easy to say, well, like, just don't.
Does their necklace say feminist? It does, and I'm going to get them for all of the Fearand peeps. I'm gonna make them wear those on the podcast.
Have brands, but I think that potentially underestimates how much Pride costs. So Brighton actually has a list of like all of its costs on its website, and it is like multiple hundreds of thousands of pounds. At this scale, brand involvement kind of seems inevitable. So if we say we don't want brands, we have to bring down the scale. But if we bring down the scale, that means that there is a barrier to access for people. There's like a cap, there's a limit on the amount of people who can attend. Or they would have to charge people money to attend. So there's kind of a lack of accessibility in both ways. Either you have to be able to afford to come, or you have to be some of the first people to sign up, I suppose, or turn up. And I think it's important to not forget that Pride celebrations often are not just the march itself. Pride London, for example, has like, I'm pretty sure at this point, like hundreds of events that get run under its banner, which are much more small, much more niche, much more specific. There's a lot of intersectional events that get put on, and those are...
Gay, brought to you by Walmart.
Just wouldn't be possible without the kind of funding that brands bring in. And if all of the drama around Pride London's finances are to be believed, there's also a lot of restrictions that are put on Pride parades by like local councils and the police in order to make sure that it's safe, and also it doesn't disrupt local businesses. Some people, including Peter Tatchell, have pointed out that a lot of these rising costs imposed on Pride don't seem to be equitable to the costs that are imposed on other marches and protests, but they are being. So yeah, I think it's easy to say that brands and corporations should have no place in Pride, but I think ultimately right now that's not possible. I think what we need to do is work out like a way in which we can integrate this cohesively. So is it possible to have brand sponsoring, but also to make sure that the most vulnerable people in our community are taken care of, that the issues are being raised properly? Like,
yeah, it's like brand sponsor until Kid Rock takes out his gun and fires 100 shots, most of them missing, at a case of Bud Light. And then they're like, oh, not doing that again.
Those two things don't have to be mutually exclusive. So like, for example, should a certain percentage of places on the march be taken up with activist groups and non-profits? Should a requirement of brands marching be that they have to showcase one of these issues? Is it possible for companies to fund Pride but refrain from the flashy shows of labels and products on their floats? Now, these questions don't necessarily have answers. And I think there's also some sticky issues within sponsorship as well. For example, a lot of Prides are sponsored by alcohol brands. They're some of the first brands that got involved with the Pride movement. And again, on the one hand, it makes sense because bars are often the only places that we can socialise, and bars and alcohol go together pretty well. It seems like a perfect match. But if we're looking at the issue side of things, like, gay people have an increased risk of alcohol dependency and alcoholism. Are these the brands that we want to be sponsoring these?
Gay, brought to you by Absolute Vodka.
Events. Like, how do we fit this wide-sweeping corporate sponsorship alongside the activists who are trying to deal with this issue in the first place. And I think that people are coming up with small scale solutions. So we often have smaller Pride events that are happening alongside the main event. We have kind of like
Bandit
community
D, thank
picnics
you.
and
Anonymous
particularly
Gifter, thank you.
intersectional events. But these are very small in scale.
Fever Gummy Davis,
They
17
kind of
months.
have to be, because as soon as they grow, they get into the issues that the main Pride is having. Because here's the thing, in like Plato's perfect form of a Pride, absolutely, we would have no brand sponsorships, we would, as many people who wanted to come would be able to come, we would be able to protest and celebrate together, but unfortunately, we do not exist in the platonic ideal of 2018. So yeah, compromises will have to be made somewhere. I suppose my question is just like, can we get
This is interesting because I was going to say this video definitely has not come out in recent years when talking about brand sponsorships, especially not in the last year, because I feel like it went from, I feel like the brand, the corporate element of Pride is one that has been an issue, but also now, as I said, it's like now we've even gone back a step in that these major corporations that were advertising at Pride saw the, saw the ability to make money, the commercialization of what began as, what is a protest movement. And that's not even happening right now.
Compromises to be made on the
Well, we've been proven right about what we said about those corporations, that their allyship was never real. Shocking.
Side of the corporations and not on the side of the community. Like maybe asking corporations to make space for LGBTQ plus people at these events, to support the community all year round, to work with non-profits to like genuinely raise their profile. Basically to not just create a massive advert during this parade to sell their products. According to the Financial Times, Reykjavik Pride is doing this now. Sponsors don't have logos on the floats. The logos are on the website. That's something separate. Whether you think the message of Pride should be political or celebratory or supportive or defiant, ultimately, those messages are all lost if all we can see are the shiny lights and logos of companies trying to sell us something. So what do you think? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.
What I think is we should have more AI apps being pushed at Pride Fest. There was economic benefit to being an ally, but now it's probably a financial liability in this new hell world. Yeah, I mean, it's these companies that are kowtowing to the Trump administration. Okay, I did not get to watching my video on Stonewall, but guess what? Pride is a whole month. And then as soon as June is over, we go back to it being the world of the straights. Okay, y'all get 1 month. We get 1 month for Pride. But we have plenty of time this month to talk more about the history of Pride and a reminder of why it isn't just a party. And I think the celebration and the, unbridled joy element, really important, of course. Like, it is about celebrating unique individual identities. But unfortunately, we see, the Jonathan Joss, the news of Jonathan Joss and Charlotte Fosgate, and just hundreds of continuously hundreds of anti-LGBTQ legislation and all of the shit that is happening. And so it's a reminder that, like, this is still a fight. This equality has yet to be achieved, and the fight for progress is still in progress. Okay, I need to tell Will that I am ready to go. I am ready to go. We can celebrate, but also remember we still have so much shit to do. I know, and it feels bad. It feels bad to be like, hey, here's a really horrific, violent thing that just happened. But it's also necessary. It's also necessary because of the fact that it's still happening. And I wish it could just be like nice and fun and goofy and silly, and I think that's important as well. But unfortunately, we still live in a society that is quite violent. Despite being civilized, we are civilized, and yet we are not.